So, Charlie, such a pleasure to be here with you today.
Oh, thank you. Nice to be here with you.
Thank you. Well, you weren't among the first actors considered for the role by Guy Ritchie, but you really fought for it. And it was worth it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very, very competitive business, the film business, and you have to fight, as in every aspect of life, you have to fight for what you want. And Guy he didn't really know who I was, but the little he knew of me, he thought that I was American, and so he desperately wanted to hire an Englishman. So right there and then I realized that I was up against having to change his perception of who I was and what I was about. So I went to England, and I flew myself to England just to really go and have a cup of tea with Guy and introduce myself and ask him maybe if he would consider letting me audition. And by the end of that meeting, he had come to really like me and asked me if I would audition. And so then once I got my foot in the door, I had 3 days between that meeting and actually doing the audition. I just spent every waking second researching the world and trying to figure out what I was going to bring to this and how I would make it, how I would show him sort of a bit of my heart within the material that I had to audition with.
What was, two-part question, what was your personal take on Guy Ritchie's King Arthur when we were preparing for the audition? And secondly, does it change anything for you to go back to your native accent?
Well, the second part of it's easier. It's not my native accent that I use because I'm from the north of England, and that wasn't an appropriate dialect for this, so I had to work with a coach and we had to decide what we were going to do. I've become very, very comfortable in working in America, in American dialect. I've been doing it for 10 years, it had transformed my natural speaking voice, because when we spend 100 hours a week doing a dialect, a lot of it just starts to stick. And so that was a bit of a challenge going back to doing an English dialect again. But then in terms of what I tried to inject, I think what's exciting about acting is that you can explore some of the things that you're interested in life through the roles that we play. And one of the things that I've been most interested in trying to understand and conquer is the relationship or the conflict that we all have to deal with between faith and fear in our lives. If you're lucky enough to identify a sense of a vision for one's life, or a sense of, personal aspiration or personal destiny, there's an enormous amount of obstacle that is going to be between you and achieving that thing. Mainly failure, which is inevitable in the journey. But what we tend to do in the face of failure is, because it's so painful to fail, is build up walls against having to feel that failure again, feel that pain again. And then we start to have limitations, apply limitations to our life, and say, this I'm capable of and that I'm not capable of. But the central message of this film, and what Arthur has to learn, is that actually anybody's capable of anything. You have to just look at those deep fears and see where they come from and confront pain, because pain is an inevitable part of this journey, and try to just accept that that's going to be part of the journey and keep on moving forward. Because if you move fearlessly in the direction of your dreams and endeavor to live the life that you have imagined, you will meet with success, but it's just going to be a rocky road to get there.
There's also, I imagine there's also a lot of fun in reenacting a medieval fantasy. That's part of everybody's imaginary as a child, right? It's the things you want most. You want to be a knight, you want to be a princess. Was it fun to do that?
It was, and where a lot of that fun came from was just working with Guy. He really is a lovely man, and he enjoys life, and he makes the process fun every day. And so, yeah, it was a lot of fun. In terms of it was exciting just to sort of step onto those sets and see the remarkable work that hundreds of people had put in to creating that world for us to go and play in. I mean, the sets are extraordinary, and you know, there's a tendency in this day and age to be a bit lazy with the way we go about filmmaking, because we're going to create everything digitally. But Guy didn't want to do that. He wanted to actually really build this stuff, and so it was very exciting. It was very exciting. It was a real honor to be able to go and play in that scale.
I'd love to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Charlie.
you.